Welcome back to the channel. This is your boy MadridistaFitz, home to YouTube's 11th best Real Madrid coverage. Not the first, not the second. This is two reluctant 1-1 middle fingers to Barcelona fans. I love y'all. And I first want to say congratulations to winning back-to-back La Liga titles. This is truly deserved. When it comes to Spanish football, there is no better team than Barcelona. They are absolutely elite in the sport of Spanish football. That's my son right here. Hey, buddy, what do we say to Barcelona fans?
Attention, baby.
Yep, cry little babies cry. But today, there's nothing to cry about being a Barcelona fans. Once again, another El Clasico, another domination from Barcelona. Yeah, they're crying. They're not crying today. This is a trend, unfortunately. I personally didn't expect a lot. Before I even get into the game, this is home of the 11th best YouTube channel, Real Madrid. This is your boy MadridistaFitz. We are the poorest, may not have the best content. We will say the most curse words, but it's all for a good laugh. But we sure as hell have the best PowerPoints here. And I first want to start off today by saying there is some things that are more important than football. There's some things that are more important than the El Clasico. And my deepest condolences go out to Hansi Flick today. This had to be an extremely difficult day for him. In case y'all weren't tracking, Hansi Flick's father passed away earlier today. And this guy, all I have to say is you are an absolute dog. I may not agree with Hansi Flick's tactics sometimes with the high line, and especially it personally, in my opinion, does not work in Europe, which I'll get into later. It does not work in the Champions League, but it will certainly win them La Liga. You can disagree with his tactics, all day long, like I do. But at the end of the day, I cannot believe that this man elected to coach after his father passed away. I don't know how tight he was with his father. I know if my father would have passed away, I would have been not playing in that game. It is a madness that man did that, and hats off to you. And I think his spirit embodies this Barcelona team. They are truly a team. They truly care about each other. He truly cares about this team coaching, despite the passing away of his father. And I might not like Barcelona. I actually hate Barcelona more than anything in my life, but there's things more important than football. And my deepest condolences to you, Hansi Flick. And thank you for everything you do for the game of football and for Spanish football as well. I think that Barcelona plays an incredibly beautiful style of football, which I'll talk about in this video. And we'll talk about El Clasico, but my condolences, Hansi Flick, before I move on to the El Clasico game. So there was a game today. I will talk about it. I have the starting lineups up here. In case you didn't see the game, in this slide right here, you can see Barcelona. They look like they rocked a 4-2-3-1. And up top, they had Mr. Ferland Torres in the midfield. It looked like, or behind that, I guess, rather. Their attackers were Fermin Lopez. He's a good player. He should have scored a goal today, too. Lewandowski should have passed him the ball over. He got a little greedy on that. Fermin Lopez was sitting right in the middle and had the opportunity to bury the ball in the back of the onion bag. I like him. He's a good player. Dani Olmo, brilliant player. I love Dani Olmo. He's extremely underrated. I'll talk about him later, but he was in the center of the attack there. And then Marcus Rashford had a very good game today, too. He was over on the right. Looks like they're behind them. The midfield support was Pedri and Gavi, my most hated Barcelona player. All he does is foul people. That's his job. He has no real skill when it comes to soccer. That's a hell of a statement coming from me. He's, of course, an elite soccer player, but of all their Spanish midfielders, I dislike him the most. And then back in defense, they didn't have much to do today because Real Madrid was, of course, impotent and didn't put up much of a fight. But they had Cancelo, they had Martin Cabarsi and Eric Garcia, and then Joan Garcia back at goal. So that was Barcelona. I won't talk too much about their lineup. Real Madrid today, after all the controversy surrounding this team throughout the week, you would expect that the players that we have left, we did have a lot of players out. I'm a Real Madrid fan. I am not a Barcelona crybaby. I will not make excuses about my team losing and players being out. Barcelona, of course, did not have the Barcelona princess himself, Lamine Yamal, in today's game. He was out of the game. And hats off to them. They played exceptionally well without him. Surely, if we would have won this game, it would have been used as the primary excuse for Barcelona losing to Real Madrid. But I will not do that with my team. The players that were out of our team, Mr. Mbudi himself, Kylian Mbappe, say what you want about the man. He does score goals. He does score goals in El Clasico. His El Clasico record has been great. I'll put up the stats for him over here to the left for his El Clasico record. But one thing you can always expect from Mbudi is he will score a goal, despite doing whatever the hell he wants on the field. We didn't have him. We didn't have Arda Güler. He was hurt. We didn't have, of course, Valverde because Tchouaméni did a number on him and beat the shit out of him before this game. So we were without Valverde, our captain, and perhaps our best midfielder overall. He was out. And then our starting center back, Dean Huijsen, he got hurt during warm-up somehow. So this was a Real Madrid team that was absent of a lot of players. I will not make that as an excuse for my team being trash and being asked. I am not a Barcelona fan. I do not have a victim mentality when it comes to that. But at the end of the day, it really didn't matter who we fielded against these guys. We surely would have lost, but I'll go over our lineup. We employed a 4-4-2. I personally would not have done this myself. I do not think 4-4-2 is best suited to Real Madrid. All the great Real Madrid teams that I have seen have been a 4-3-3. If you have two strikers up there, I think that they have to be very fast. Think back in the day, or at least one of them has to be fast, and one of them has to be clinical. Think back in the day to the Spanish sides of old that ran the 4-4-2 with David Villa and Fernando Torres. That worked because you had incredible players back there that were able to pick a pass behind those two players like Xavi, Iniesta, and Busquets. And then you had the speed of Fernando Torres coupled with the finishing ability of David Villa up top. This lineup does not work, in my opinion. I do not think this is best suited for the players that are up top. Gonzalo Garcia is a very good young player. He has a lot of potential, but a burner of speed, he is not. And he surely was not going to outpace players. And there were a few opportunities where they did give him through passes. They did give him the opportunity to run onto a ball, but he simply was not fast enough. He also missed a big chance in the first half, which I'll go over. I actually missed that because my son was running amok. But we employed a 4-4-2. We had Vinicius out on the left. We had Gonzalo Garcia on the right. Then behind them, we had our midfield, who, man, these guys were really absent today. We had Jude Bellingham, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, Brahim Diaz. And then in the back, we had Ferran Garcia. I'll get into him in a minute. Boy, he had a tough day out there. It didn't matter who was coming at him. He was just getting pounded like a Malia Khalifa porno. It was bad out there. Antonio Rudiger, he was not great. Raul Asensio, he had a madness in the second half. And then Trent Alexander-Arnold, I would argue, was our best defender today, which is shocking because the man is garbage at defending. Then it was good to see Courtois back in goal. He saved us a lot today. Before I even get into the game, I'll do a short recap of the game. I have notes from the game, but we can sum this all up. What's up, buddy?
Can you help me take this out of screw off?
I will, buddy. Here, let me stop this for a second and help my son. Then we'll get back to this. What do we say to Barcelona fans?
Cry with little babies.
That's right, cry a little bit. And I'm back. Listen, I'll talk briefly about the game and recap it a little bit in case y'all didn't see it. But you really didn't need to. There's a fundamental difference between these two teams. I don't always agree with Hansi Flick's tactics, but he has this Barcelona team playing like a real team. Real Madrid might not know this. They might not have taken notes on this, but soccer is a team game. It is not an individualistic sport. If you play it like a bunch of individuals, if you play just 11 or one player versus 11 out there, which we did today, once Real Madrid employed that tactic, you will surely lose every game against a good side like Barcelona. Barcelona, they just have 11 guys that like to play soccer together. They don't care about holding the ball. Look at them. Almost all their players, except for wingers, every now and then will take on players, which that's their job. But for the most part, it's all get the ball, receive the ball, take a touch, look for a pass, and then take a touch, look for a pass, move the ball forward with purpose, and get your attack going. I personally really like watching Barcelona play football, play soccer, however the hell you want to call it. I'm from America, so I'll switch between football and soccer. But they fundamentally play the game the right way. I don't like their high line and their defensive tactics, which I'll go over here in a second, which of course Real Madrid is unable to expose because we are trash. But they play soccer the right way. Now, Real Madrid, if you watch this game, we just have a bunch of players out there that just try taking on multiple people. They don't care about passing the ball. They don't care about link-up play. All they employ is passing the ball to Vinny. Vinny tries to beat 3 or 4 people down the line. Even Brahim Diaz, who I thought had an okay game, if you're going to employ this one-on-one tactic of trying to dribble past every player on the field, even he had an okay game, trying to dribble past every player on the field. But here's a newsflash for you, Real Madrid. You guys are not Lionel Messi. No one is. If you employ the tactic of trying to beat 4 or 5 defenders, it will not work against most teams unless they are absolute trash. And trash this Barcelona team in La Liga is certainly not. So that's a wake-up call. Maybe try taking some notes from Barcelona and playing as a damn team. But just getting into it a little bit, that by the stats, Barcelona, of course, had more shots. They have more shots on targets because they play better football. They play 1-2 touch football. They link up. Their passing is way better than us. They had more possession, 55%. They had more passes, of course, 514, because they're willing to pass to open teammates. They're willing to play amongst each other as a team. Their pass accuracy, of course, is better than ours, 95%. They even had more fouls, which in this figure, you would think that that's a bad thing. I do not think that's a bad thing. I think that they were the more aggressive team. They ran more than us. They tried harder. You could tell they wanted it more. And they had, even though they had more fouls, they had less yellow cards because they had smart fouls. We just did dumb stuff on the field, which I'll get into in the second half with that dumb yellow card that Raul Asensio got for no reason. No red cards in this game. Offsides, there wasn't too many of those, and we had more corners. We were very poor in this game. Just to sum it up, I have a lot of notes on this, but in the first half, we started out, I would say, okay. I think Brahim Diaz was kind of a live wire. Someone threw a lobster in his shorts this game and decided he wanted to try to be prime Messi and take on player after player. This is something I have not seen Brahim Diaz do in a long time. Maybe he's trying to prove his spot in the team, but he was pretty good taking on guys left and right. But I don't think that's a tactic you can ultimately employ beating Barcelona. But he tried his damnedest to do it, and shout out to him, the Moroccan prince, for at least trying, putting forth the effort that was out there. But of course, this didn't last. Barcelona, after the initial kind of, I would say, onslaught, if you want to call it, our initial impotent attack that these guys, after all week, all the headlines, all the controversy surrounding this team, you would think that this Real Madrid squad in the first half would at least come out with, their shorts on fire, with hunger in their bellies, and really want to show the fans, that we care. Nope, that didn't happen. It was a typical stinker, Besides for the first 5 minutes of effort that this team put in, that our midfield with Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Bellingham, the first 5-minute effort they did trying to impose their will on Barcelona's midfield, that all went away in a matter of minutes. I would say after the first goal was scored from Barcelona, these players all universally were like, all right, we're going on vacation. Barcelona is going to win this game. By the way, Barcelona, if you guys did not know, all they had to do was win or tie this game to win La Liga and celebrate in Real Madrid's face. And yeah, they did. I didn't even mention the scoreline. It was 2-0, but I'll get into that with my recap. But yeah, all it took was one free kick by Rashford. I would even say before that free kick, it was a foul. It was Fermin Lopez outside the box against 4 Real Madrid defenders. There were 4, not 1, not 2, not 3, 4 Real Madrid defenders outside the box. And you cannot stop Fermin Lopez from driving on you into the box without fouling him. Come on, you guys suck, but you're not even that bad. Make a clean tackle outside your box. You don't have to foul a guy when it's a 1-on-4. 1-on-4. And he's trying to dribble past all those players. So, of course, they gave up the foul because they stink, and I think it was Rudiger, his hothead. Maybe he wanted to slap another person because Carreras wasn't enough this week, slapping him up. But he let up a foul, and, of course, Marcus Rashford. You can always expect Barcelona, this is another thing, to have their best performances against us. Other top teams in Europe, they fold like the little queens that they are. I'm not making this shit up. I went over this the other day in my video. Any good side that they played in Europe, whether it was PSG, whether it was Chelsea, whether it was Atletico Madrid, they score goal. The other team scores goals on them and exposes their high line. Not us. Barcelona saves their best stuff for us, even without the Barcelona princess. And Marcus Rashford scores a excellent free kick goal. And then at that point, this Real Madrid team, you could see their dark mode. They folded, the typical crybabies they are. They packed it in, especially our midfield. At that point, I said this before the game, the only way that you are going to beat Barcelona is if your midfield players run their absolute asses off and disrupt what Pedri, what Gavi, what Dani Olmo are trying to do on the ball, which is hold it and pick out a pass. If you do not cause disruption with that, they will tear you apart, and they will give clinical through ball after clinical through ball, and they will set up all their offensive players. We didn't run today. I saw very disinterested players in the first half playing the game of soccer. It's like we didn't want to put in the effort. We didn't want to put in the hustle. And after that first free kick goal, that's really when that happened. And then shortly after that, within the span of the first 20 minutes, also, it was the first time in El Clasico where a Barcelona team scored 2 goals in less than 20 minutes, and first time in 10 years. I heard that on the game today, setting new lows, Real Madrid. Congratulations. But after the first goal, they kept on imposing their will, and I would say that second goal by Barcelona is sublime football. That's what you want to teach your kids growing up, how to play soccer, how the game should be played. Great link-up play. Then one of their midfielders, Dani Olmo, was in the middle, a pass into the box in the middle, and a in-the-air Cruyff flick from Dani Olmo. If you don't know what that is, that's where the ball is coming at the player. Here, I'm going to use my fingers. And the ball goes past their front leg, and then they use their back leg to flick the ball onto another player. And it was Ferland Torres that scored. That was an outstanding goal. You will never see this from this Real Madrid team, because if someone got the ball in the box, they wouldn't be looking for the extra pass. They would try to shoot it or try to beat a player dribbling because they're selfish. But yeah, it was just more the same throughout the first half, and we didn't really do anything. Gonzalo Garcia apparently had a good chance on goal. I missed it because I was playing with my son a little bit, and we ended up going up to the gym in our neighborhood, but because I was getting frustrated and I needed to do a little bit of a workout while this game was going on. I still watched it here and there, but yeah, there was nothing positive about the first half. And then, the second half, the only thing I will say about this Real Madrid team is the only thing good is they didn't let up a goal. Certainly Barcelona had their chances. There was one good chance, or 2 good chances, really, in the second half that I saw from Real Madrid, and it was Vinny got a great pass from Trent Alexander-Arnold. I believe it was a in the air cross the field long pass, and of course he, instead of even putting effort on goal, he tries to do the spectacular and chip it over the keeper back to himself. Didn't work. Juan Garcia is a very good keeper. He ate that for breakfast. Nice try on that one, Vinny. And then there was another good opportunity where there was a long ball into the box to Jude Bellingham. And, of course, instead of trying to trap it, he gets touched in the face by, I think it was Eric Garcia. He gets just lightly tapped in the face. There was a little bit of a controversy about whether that should be a penalty or not. Once again, I am a Real Madrid fan. I am not a Barcelona fan. I do not have a victim mentality. I will not blame the refs for a no call. Could have been a penalty, sure. Whatever, I do not I do not think we should be relying on the refs or blaming the refs because we can't win a football game. You out there have to do that. This is the sport of soccer. That stuff's going to happen. Some games you're going to get the calls. Some games you're not going to get the calls. Blaming the refs is a victim mentality thing, and you simply shouldn't do it for a loss. And also, you just got outplayed, bottom line, by Barcelona. But wasn't a whole lot of good stuff in the second half either. I didn't, maybe a little more fight. I just think overall we just got, put to the sword. And Barcelona, of course, won this game 2-0. They are the La Liga champions. We had to sit out there, and as Real Madrid players, as Real Madrid fans, we had to watch as the season's not over. We had to watch as Barcelona is getting crowned champions after a El Clasico. El Clasicos are typically in May, around the first 2 weeks of May, and the season's wrapped up. La Liga is a wrap. Barcelona has won back-to-back El Clasicos. It's a madness, and our players and our fans alike. Our players deserved, I will say this, our players deserve to watch them celebrate on the field. It's shameful what you guys have done this year. It's shameful the behavior that you've employed this year. It's shameful that you've got not one, but probably a second coach. I'm talking about Xavi Alonso. They got him fired, and now they're probably going to get Arbeloa fired. Both those guys are probably going to have to get some psychiatric help because they had to listen to the crying, whiny crybabies that are on Real Madrid's team all year. You guys deserve to watch Barcelona, celebrate. And I thought it was great too. Good on Barcelona. They were fully prepared for that celebration. They had like a stage ready. They had all the little Mickey Mouse trophies. Yeah, I'll call it what it is. Winning La Liga is a Mickey Mouse league, and they got Mickey Mouse trophies. They got these little trophies for each of their players, like it was a youth soccer league championship. I'll call it what it is. Congratulations again to Barcelona. What you guys do in La Liga is incredible. It's amazing, and the tactics you employ work in La Liga, because I this is no mystery. La Liga is down right now. We La Liga as a whole is not a very good soccer league. We do not have a very many competitive teams. Look at what we did in Europe. Look at how Barcelona, who's number one, and Real Madrid, who's a distance number two, acquitted themselves in the Champions League. I would even say Atletico Madrid, who's technically the third best team. If you look at the La Liga table, they acquitted themselves the best in Europe. They made it to a semifinals and got pretty damn close to winning, or to making it to the UCL final. They surely would have got their asses kicked in the final. But so the La Liga is not a very competitive league. There's no teams outside of those three clubs that are even threatening to any other club in Europe, and even your champion in La Liga got tossed in the quarterfinals. This is not a very competitive league right now. I will say year in and year out, Barcelona has played incredible soccer in La Liga, but La Liga, just being frank, is a two-horse race. It's a championship it's basically your championship for who's better between Real Madrid and Barcelona. So you have won that championship 2 years in a row. Congratulations, you are better than this trash Real Madrid team. I will give it to you guys. I will hand you guys your flowers. This is the golden generation of Barcelona football. Maybe it's just starting. Who knows? We don't know if this will continue. But now is the time, I would say, next year. Try to do something a little more in the Champions League instead of crashing out in the quarterfinals, especially when you get a Mickey Mouse draw, which I will continue to say. I had a Barcelona fan, a buddy of mine, said that Barcelona was on the harder side of the Champions League, which is a madness. But congratulations to y'all. I will give you your flowers. You dominate Spanish soccer. You win your Mickey Mouse trophies. Congratulations. So let's get into some of the player ratings. I just got this from, I think it was Fubo Sports or something like that. I'll tell you if I agree with these ratings. For me personally, it is hard to give any Barcelona player below a 7, honestly. I'll start with up top. Ferland Lopez. Or no, my bad. Forlan Torres. I get him and Feminine Lopez confused all the time. So Forlan Torres, he had an excellent game. This guy's been playing really good football at the end of the year for Barcelona. He's been banging in some goals. He might even make it to the Spanish national team as like a sub. I don't know who else is a true Spanish striker that is better than him that I can think of off the top of my head. Like a true number 9 that would employ that position. I don't know who else is out there. I might be missing someone right now, but he's played some damn good football, and he had a great finish today. He was very good. He set up the first goal with his movement and all that into the box and drawing a foul against all these sorry ass Real Madrid defenders. Hold on, I'm pulling up an article as well that was talking about some of these player ratings, but yeah, he was very good. And then if we're moving on to Marcus Rashford, I think Marcus Rashford was Barcelona's best player today, but I don't know why he got subbed off so early, quite frankly. He had a very good game, and it could only be described as child abuse, which what was going on out there with him against Fran Garcia. Fran Garcia was just getting absolutely manhandled by Rashford. Say what you want about Rashford. He may be inconsistent. He may not be, the best player on the planet. Like, he was very hyped coming out of Manchester United and their youth system and all that. But Marcus Rashford's a good player on his best day. When Marcus Rashford has it going on, when he is playing like his best game, he's pretty tough to deal with. And that free kick was just like a anomaly. I wouldn't say anomaly, but it was a work of art. You're not going to see very many free kicks better than that one. And at the end of the day, I heard that this guy's like transfer value on the market is 30 million euros. I would do that if I was Barcelona. Don't just because you're getting close to financial stability with your new Camp Nou and all that. Why take a huge swing on a player and signing someone that's more expensive when you have a guy that's capable of doing what Marcus Rashford did today in a backup role or maybe a starting role some games? He's very good. He was probably the best player on their team. Fermin Lopez, I guess he was the guy that delivered the pass to Dani Olmo on the second goal. They only gave him a rating of, by the way, the ratings for these two guys were around a 7.6. I would give Ferran Torres and Rashford both an 8. I would probably even give Rashford a 9. But Fermin Lopez, I'm going to keep on saying that forever. He got a 6.5. I think that's very unfair for Mr. Fermin Lopez himself. He helped set up that second goal, which was just brilliant. And then also, he could have had a third. He was sitting there wide open. Lewandowski's old ass came into the game. Instead of passing him the ball, he just decided to take the shot on for himself because he wanted to be the oldest player to score in a La Liga or in a El Clasico match. He knows his days are numbered at Barcelona, and he's trying to just suck any little bit of glory he could out of it, just like Mickey Rourke is trying to suck any little bit of cocaine that he can get. That guy's going broke if you don't know who he is. Yeah, Fermin Lopez had a good game. And then Pedri and Gavi, I will say Pedri had a very nice game. Pedri always has very good games. Honestly, he's just like he kind of just drives this Barcelona side. He's very cool and calm in the middle of the park. He wasn't bothered at all today by any of our midfielders. None of our midfielders could touch this guy. He either out-dribbled them or just dumped the ball off or was just an outlet for players. It was incredible. When he's on his game, he's the best midfielder in the world, plain and simple. That's all. He doesn't score a lot of goals, but he doesn't need to. He's class. Now, Gavi, he seemed... Gavi is what Gavi is. He's a fouler. His job his talent is fouling people. That's all this man does as it's so weird because you don't see a lot of Barcelona midfielders like this. Usually Barcelona midfielders from the academy are very elegant. They're very composed on the ball. They play nice, beautiful football. He's there to foul people. That's what he does. He's a little midget fouler. I'm sure the Barcelona princess has Pedri and Gavi both in a closet because he collects midgets in his spare time. But as far as Gavi, he seemed more interested in fouling Jude Bellingham today than more than anything. Good on him though. You need a player that's going to be aggressive and foul people, but their back line. I'm not going to get into all these cats. I would give them universally. Tying back in this, I think the rating for Gavi's justified. I give him a 7. I give Pedri like an 8. I would give all Barcelona's defenders about a 7.5. They were all pretty good. I mean, of course, Barcelona plays a high line. I've stressed that many times. We seem to be the only big club in Europe that's unable to expose their high line, especially without Kylian Mbappe. We had our opportunities in this game to score some goals, but of course we couldn't finish our chances. So I think these guys did a very admirable job, despite having to employ the tactic that Hansi Flick asked them to do. And then their keeper Garcia, he had an excellent game. I think 8.3 is justified. Clean sheet altogether. You can't ask for better than that against Real Madrid in a El Clasico that brought you a La Liga title. So that's Barcelona. I agree with most of those player ratings. Now let's go over to the bums themselves. Real Madrid. These scumbags, dude. Oh my god. What kind of? I'm gonna rip into some of these players, and I don't give a shit because they are truly trash. So all right. So starting with our guys up top, let's see what they gave these bums. So they gave Gonzalo Garcia, a little disappointing from him. They gave him a 5.7 and a Vinicius Jr. a 5.8. I agree with this for two very different reasons. Gonzalo Garcia is very inexperienced. When you have a chance to finish a shot in a game like this, you got to put the ball away. I actually did not see the play that he had a chance to score, but I heard it was like a gilt-edged chance, and he missed it. Vinicius Jr., this was your opportunity to really, make a statement saying that we don't need Kylian Mbappe on this team. You can do it yourself. We can rely on you, to win these type of games, to be the big player, to be the superstar that we all expect from you. But at the end of the day, you didn't deliver. I mean, that's all there is to say. He just dribbled. No end product. Say what you want about Kylian Mbappe, Mr. Mbooty himself. He has a lot of problems, and he might be single-handedly destroying this team, but he scores some El Clasico goals. That's just facts. I mean, they were disappointing themselves, our attack, but the most disappointing aspect of this club, this team today, was the midfield. Brahim Diaz, Tchouaméni, Camavinga, all these guys deserve a 5 or a 6. I'm not even going to go all over all their player ratings. Brahim Diaz is probably the best player out there. Once again, you're not going to win a lot of soccer games trying to dribble around everyone, but Brahim Diaz, he sure as hell tried today. He was running around like crazy. But Tchouaméni, Camavinga, and Bellingham, these guys did nothing to nullify Barcelona's attack. It's one thing, to play like shit, to not, score goals, to not play pretty soccer and all that, which we don't. It's another thing not to hustle and to try your damnedest to stop the other team, and that's what I saw today. They were not out there trying to, influence or stop Barcelona's attack. They were bigger, stronger, faster dudes than Dani Olmo, than Gavi, than Pedri. That's facts. They're just more athletic. In order to use that to your advantage, you have to be willing to run. You have to put in the hard yards. I didn't see that today. I usually see that from Jude Bellingham. I didn't think he had a particularly good game. These guys, they didn't put in the effort to try to disrupt what Barcelona was doing. We have some subs back there. If you get tired, we can sub you out. But the fact that they didn't run the hard yards, that was disappointing. Also, too, I will say on the ball, compared to Barcelona, we are just so slow. My God. Like, if you look at the two sides, it's night and day. Barcelona simply is just way better on the football. They move the ball quicker. Their midfield, when they get the ball, they take it. They never take more than a touch or two, 3 touches, unless they absolutely have to escape some danger. They get the ball, they get rid of it. They push the attack. Our guys, they get the ball, and it's like they don't know what they want to do with it. Like, they end up trying to carry it into alleys and then get trapped by other Barcelona players. especially Jude Bellingham, he's usually pretty good at facilitating the ball, getting the ball out from underneath his feet. He was so damn slow on the ball today. It was like his brain wasn't catching up with the speed of the game. That was very disappointing. And another thing I will say that, and I wanted to make a clear note of this, one thing I love that Barcelona does is they pass the ball to their midfielders, and their midfielders aren't afraid to not even take a touch, but to do a one-touch pass. So if you don't know what that is, you instead of receiving the ball and taking a touch, gathering yourself and looking up for a pass, when the ball's coming to you, you immediately pass it. Your first touch is a pass. Barcelona does this time in and time again. Their midfielders will play. They'll see the game before it happens. They'll get the ball from defense or one of their offensive players on a back pass, and they'll read the game, and before they even get the ball, they'll just pass a through ball into space for the other team to try to exploit it. This is something our midfielders rarely ever do. They get the ball, they take 2-3 touches, they don't see a pass, and they're like, all right, I'm going to start dribbling it. It's a madness. They should really take some notes from that. And then I would give all those cats a 5. I think everyone in Real Madrid's team, maybe beside Trent Alexander-Arnold, I thought him and Brahim Diaz, I thought they had very good games. Not very good, but serviceable. I both give them 7. Everyone else deserves a 5 or below. Our center backs, they're a mess. We can't stop anyone when stuff's delivered into the box. Instead of putting a body on Dani Olmo or trying to deflect the pass, they let some blind goal in. It's just a nightmare with this team. Raul Asensio and Rudiger both got a shot in this game due to player injuries. I would say these two are, especially Asensio, are much lower on the pecking order of starting defenders. Usually if Militao or Dean Huijsen were healthy, they would be playing. Raul Asensio, he just plays some dumbass soccer. Even in the second half, there was a player that got fouled on Barcelona. He decided after the ref blew the whistle, he decided just to carry the ball 20 yards and score a goal. Put the ball in the back of the net after the play was over. That's the closest we came to scoring today. Oh my God, this is a mess. Yeah, what can you say about that? Boneheaded play, got a yellow card, and then pretty much started a fight afterwards. And you think a team that is good at fighting each other would be good at farting, good at fighting. We probably are good at farting because we are total shit. But you think a team that's good at fighting amongst each other would be good at fighting Barcelona? We even lost the fist fight that ensued between Vinicius Jr. and Dani Olmo. Dani Olmo's little ass basically pushed over the crybaby Vinicius Jr. It's sad, man. And then lastly, for our outfield players, Fran Garcia got beat like a redheaded stepchild, got taken behind the woodshed and just got the shit kicked out of him by whatever winger was going down that wing, whether it was Marcus Rashford did a number on him. He was doing whatever he wanted to him. And then they put in Mr. Champions League, who is Rafinha. Okay, that's what Barcelona fans have been calling him. He's never won a Champions League, never even sniffed a final. But Mr. Champions League himself came in and was causing him troubles too. Fran Garcia is just not very good. He's not Real Madrid material. I hate to say it. He's a better soccer player than I could ever be. Sure as hell that's the case, but he's a bad defender. He also does nothing going forward. I will say he makes good runs going forward. This is another thing that's a madness that I see time and time again with Vinicius Jr. Before I recap all this that I'm talking about because it's getting long-winded. I see left back after left fullback making runs on the left-hand side, overlapping Vinicius Jr. If you don't know what that means, here's where Vinicius Jr. is. It's simply a fullback running down the left shoulder or right shoulder of Vinicius Jr., either going up the line or going towards the middle. Vinicius Jr. will never make that pass to our fullbacks, whether it's Carreras, whether it's Mendy, whether it's Fran Garcia. Once Vinicius Jr. has the ball, the only thing he has in his mind is dribbling it. These poor fullbacks run miles and miles just to never receive the ball up top. I will say, when Fran Garcia gets the ball up top, he has no idea what the hell he's doing. He's like a fish out of water with that. If you're going to be a fish out of water defender or offensive fullback, you should at least be an elite defender. He's neither. I don't know what we do with him. I will say, of all our defenders, Trent Alexander-Arnold, who usually is exposed in games like this, he played quite well. He got he got beat a few times, just not beat, but he got caught. I would say caught out of position a few times because he was doing classic Trent Alexander ball watching. That's where you're watching the game instead of the player that you're supposed to be marking. But besides that, his one-on-one defending was pretty good. He actually recovered very well on a few times that he was out of position. But overall, we stink. They should have scored more goals. They only got 2. They could have had 3, 4, 5. And this is mostly because of Courtois. They gave him a 6.5. I don't even know how that's possible. Those goals that I would at least give him a 7. Those goals that Barcelona scored today, there's nothing you could do about. You give up a free kick against some of the best players in the world right outside the box. Sometimes they're going to bury the ball in the back of the onion bag. That's facts. These are just good soccer players. When you're giving up pointless free kicks, when it's a 4-on-1 between Ferran Torres and 4 of your defenders, and you're giving up a free kick, at the end of the day, Marcus Rashford or whoever the hell it is going to score a goal eventually. This is common sense shit. I'm getting angry now. I don't want to, but in the second goal, there's nothing you could do. There was a brilliant play. There's a guy shooting right in front of Courtois, 5 yards away. They're going to score the ball 99% of the time. There's nothing Courtois could have done, and he made a lot of very good saves that prevented this scoreline from being 3 or 4 goals. So I'll wrap this all up in this slide right here. So this slide right here really personifies it. So the bottom line is we are trash, and here's why. Here's my justification for why we are trash. This really, I think a game like this really shows us where we're at as a club for Real Madrid. This whole week we are just not only dysfunctional outside the pitch. You know, we had the fist fight between Tchouaméni and Valverde, our captain, which landed our captain in a hospital. He has a head wrap going on. He couldn't even. He's in a wheelchair. We had Antonio Rudiger slapping the shit out of another defender who didn't even play today. Maybe he's hurt. We had Dani Ceballos, the side and back pass king, bitching at the coach. We had Kylian Mbappe off canoodling, not recovering on time to play in this game, canoodling with a Spanish supermodel instead of recovering over in Italy. We had him doing that madness. We had other players yelling at the coach. The list goes on and on and on with this team. All the outside distractions. There's too much player power in this squad. We need to clean it up. You know, it's a madness outside the pitch. But the bottom line is we are also trash on the pitch. There is no these players don't play as a unit. There's no cohesion. There's nothing going on the pitch that resembles competent football. All these guys play as individuals. They don't link the ball up. They don't pass to each other. They all just try dribbling and taking on the players. It will never work. I think that more than anything, regardless of what formation that we employ, they need to sit all these players down and teach them the love of playing the sport as a team. Soccer is not an individual sport. I had problems with this. You know, I still have problems with this sometimes when I play. Is I want to try to dribble past everyone, you know, because I got some decent feet. You know, but at the end of the day, in order to win, you have to play as a team. You have to pass the ball. The ball can move quicker up the field than a player running. That is just facts. A ball kicked 40 yards forward moves quicker than a player running with the ball at their feet trying to go around defenders for over 40 yards. The likelihood of the ball transiting down the field is much higher of a probability when it's passed down the field rather than being dribbled down the field, simply because it moves faster and there's less people in your way to defend you from getting the ball out from underneath your feet. That's just facts. Real Madrid has forgotten about this. They do not play as a team. It is a bunch of collective individuals over there, and we are truly suffering. We are the only team, think about this, we are the only team in Europe that has been unable to expose this Barcelona high line. They employ this week in, week out, regardless of the competition. It absolutely works in Spain. It is a madness. They are running circles around La Liga teams. They are the Spanish queens. They equip themselves. I call them the Spanish queens because they equip themselves like queens in European and the Champions League. They are not the kings. They have not won the championship. They have not won the Champions League. But when it comes to Spanish soccer, they are elite. They are running circles around us. This is the lowest I have ever seen Real Madrid. You players should be fucking ashamed of yourselves for not only that your actions this last week, but the stuff, the bullshit that you brought to the pitch today. The lack of effort that was out there was shocking in the first half. The game was over in the first 20 minutes because you bums didn't want to put in effort. You didn't want to run the hard yards. If you're going to play shit soccer, at least try hard. It's a madness. I don't know where we go from here. I would like to think this is rock bottom. I said that last year. This team is worse this season. I would like to think this is rock bottom. I do not know how it gets worse. I'm going to make a video talking about hopefully how this can get better, how we can recover from this bullshit. It is a absolute madness what is going on in Madrid. Hats to you, Barcelona, and all you Barcelona fans for winning once again back-to-back La Liga trophies. You guys are the queens of Spain. I will say that a true king of Spain would be winning La Liga and the Champions League. But, of course, in your golden era, you're not capable of doing that just yet. We will see. But congratulations again to you, Barcelona. As a Real Madrid fan, we are trash. You are better. You are elite. You have the best player in the world. You probably have better, more passionate fans at this point because I've been hearing from the stadium it's pretty lackluster. I was there actually last year at the stadium, and it was pretty lackluster compared to years in the past. Everything right now at Barcelona is better than Real Madrid. I might go just end it right now. Not joking. It's not that bad. I have stuff to live for. Don't give me a fucking another reason why Real Madrid, you fucking scumbags. You are driving me nuts. I'll sign off with that. Jesus Christ. Holla Madrid. Puta Barca. Do better, Real Madrid. This is sad, frightening shit from y'all. I'm out. This is MadridistaFitz. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. I'm depressed as shit.